What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Central. As the New York Mets beat the Chicago White Sox by a final score of 2-1. Final score of 2-1. Um, the fact that the Mets offense is this piss poor that they got a grand total of 2 runs off of the Chicago White Sox. I mean, doesn't surprise me because here's the thing, right? This is my favorite thing that I'm seeing on Twitter right now from a couple people. Well, did you really expect the Mets to beat up on Adrian Hauser given who the Mets are? See, you and I have different reasons for why we thought that Adrian Hauser would shut them down. I thought so because Eric Chavez is garbage at his job and because this team has Jared Young DHing and batting fifth. And most people think so because, oh, well, it's the most Mets thing to get shut down by um, a former player. A lot of concerns still. Like I'm gonna be honest, I'm not thrilled with the way that they played baseball today. I'm just not. Like you have to do better against this type of team, and all we talked about, and this is the thing, I'm not shifting the goalpost here the way I know most Met fans are going to, because most Met fans going into the series, including myself, and I think a lot of you guys in this chat right now, we said this is your opportunity to turn things around and get the offense going. So now we can't shift the goalpost to if they scrape wins and be like, well, they won either way, so we don't have to care. No, 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 no. No. I want to see this offense annihilate this team and the Rockies. I'm sorry, but it's inexcusable to not. The Adrian Hauser going out there, throwing 6 scoreless. You only got 3 hits, and one of them was in the first inning, and they didn't get another one until the last inning when Hauser was running out of gas there. So your first hit was early in the game, and the last two, at least if I'm not mistaken, were in Adrian Hauser's last inning. I'm not shifting the goalposts, like I said, because going into the series, it was unanimous amongst Mets fans. This is where the offense needs to get going. And you just didn't see any of it. Shout out to the pitching staff. I mean, once again, this pitching staff going out there and balling out. Clay Holmes giving you a career high pitch total. Jose Budo even working out of what could have been chaos there. I was very scared when Budo came into this game. Brazoban continuing his success. Castillo. Diaz. But it's just once again, I have a bad taste in my mouth, pause, over this series, or over this win rather, because once again, we're seeing the same things with this offense. The same things. And like this is the point, what Two Cats is saying here. They've not scored more than 5 runs since the Cubs series. It just has to be better. This has to be way better baseball. I mean, this game was very, very boring for the most part here because, like I said, you have Brandon Nimmo who got that double in the first inning there, and the Mets didn't get a hit until the 6th inning when Lindor got that single. And then, sorry, they got their third hit rather off Hauser in the 7th inning after he walked Soto, and then they get a single from Alonso. By the way, get 2 base runners on to lead off an inning, and guess what happened? They do not score. I mean, Taylor walked to load the bases up, and then McNeil struck out. It legitimately took them till the bottom of the 8th to get a sacrifice fly, nonetheless, to be what ties this game. Which I'll take sacrifice flies, but the fact that they got 2 sack flies to win this baseball game, The ninth inning, at least there was some good hitting. You know, you had Taylor who got the double. McNeil got intentionally walked, but then Torrens ripping a nice single, which he's the starting catcher. He's the starting catcher. I don't want to see Alvarez start for a bit now. Torrens is the guy. They got to give leeway. You got to play the hot hand, especially with this offense struggling as it is. You got to play Luis Torrens. Just such a slap in the face of this pitching staff, though, that this offense does this on a daily basis because Clay Holmes went out there and balled out. He got in trouble in that fourth inning. He allowed that sac fly to Benintendi after surrendering two leadoff runners. But credit to him, I mean, he did what he usually does. He worked out of it. And I even said, I'm like, he's going to allow one run here because I am that confident in this pitching staff when they go out there that they're going to get the job done. And, you know, he did have help from McNeil with a good defensive play in that sixth inning. Got into trouble there, unfortunately, which cut the outing short. But I'm not too mad at him because that ump was garbage. He should have had the strikeout on Benintendi. And most of all, he should have had the strikeout on Robert. And then he definitely should have had it on Palacios. But Budo comes in, and again, the guy that we ripped on the podcast and just in general, credit to him. I mean, he comes in with the bases loaded. I thought that it was going to be a problem because Jose Budo with men on base, usually we know how that goes. It's a disaster. But he goes in there, gets a ground out, even though it wasn't easy because he ended up making the count full there, if I'm not mistaken, which, yeah, he did. But credit to him. And then Brazovan, you know, making a nice play over at first base to cover the bag, and he looked good once again. Nimmo had a nice grab in that eighth inning out in left field. Castillo comes in, he walks a batter, but then strikes out the next guy, and then Diaz comes in, and he looked good. I mean, he allowed a walk, but at least he looks right. Again, the pitching is far from the issue here. Clay Holmes put in a good start, in my opinion. And I know that he didn't generate the most swing and miss stuff today as much as he usually does, but to give you a career high in terms of pitches thrown, encouraging sign because that shows that maybe you could get some more volume out of him down the road here. 3 walks, I don't love, but at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen when you're not getting the swing and miss stuff. And then 1 earned run, 4 hits allowed. I thought he was fine. Thought he was fine. Threw a sinker a lot, as per usual. And I wish we saw the sweeper and slider a little bit more. A little bit more. Especially the slider. And then the changeup, too. We didn't see a lot of the changeup, which was very surprising because that was obviously, you know, the hyped up pitch in spring training. And even throughout the season, I've liked his changeup. But what it boils down to, once again, is just offense. It's offense. Once again. Just disgusting. 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Really? Really? I don't know. To me, it just like I want to see more from this team. I still do. Because there were times they had a couple of hits here and there. Like Nimmo had a multi-hit game. Lindor had a hit. Alonso had a hit. Taylor, Alvarez, Torrens. I mean, the Torrens one at least was in a big moment there. And same with the Taylor one, because that ended up resulting in them winning. But just get the timely hits with runners in scoring position. And I agree with this. Nimmo needs to stay in the 2-hole for right now. Especially if they're not going to play Mark Vientos, which it looks like they're not. And yet again, I mean, you had an opportunity to use him, and they pinch hit him for they put Marte in instead, which was very interesting. It feels like Vientos is just getting pushed to the wayside here. Which is very interesting. Let me see what else you guys are saying though in the chat. Leave a like if you haven't subscribed. Mostly a boring game, so there's not a lot to break down. Just, I just want to see more from this team. I really want to see more, and we're just not getting what this team should be capable of doing. And yeah, I mean, we take the win, but it just sloppy. Sloppy again. Because how is it that you're this incapable of hitting off of Adrian Hauser and the Chicago White Sox? Chavez got to go, but as long as they win, no one in the front office will pull the trigger. Yeah, I mean, that's the sad part. That's the trade-off there. It's like a double-edged sword in that regard. Do you catch what they said on the broadcast on how Tyron Taylor is hot? So Lindor helped Taylor in the team hotel in Washington better than the hitting coach. I did not even hear that, but not surprised. I mean, it's exactly what we talk about on the podcast, what we talk about every single time, that Chavez never gets credit. It's always somebody else. Always is. I mean, JD Martinez last year, and then Lindor. Lindor having to tell Chavez to do his job. It's ridiculous. I'll take the win, but holy shit, this team has major offensive issues. We can't mask over this. Just took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. You should use this as momentum and crush this team. Exactly the point. Exactly the point. Again, I'm not here to shift the goalpost and say, well, it's fine because they won. No, going into the series, I demanded that this offense starts to break out. And sure, yeah, it helps them keep pace with the Phillies. I mean, yeah, both things are true here. Playing down the competition like the Rangers, I'll take the win, but that performance was not good enough. No, not at all. Yeah, Castillo has looked better than I thought he would so far. He definitely has. I got to give credit to him in that regard. I'm very impressed. I mean, I like the slider quite a bit. I like the slider quite a bit. They shouldn't trade Alvarez, but Torrent should get the starts right now. Alvarez, I'm ready to entertain the trade discussions come July if this keeps up. I'm willing to hear the trade Alvarez thing then. I'm not there yet with Alvarez. I don't know if you do trade him because at the end of the day, how many catchers, I know that he has not been great. I get it, but how many catchers in the MLB are going to, I mean, catching's so hard to come by that I don't even know if you're going to find a good enough replacement for the price that he's making is really what it comes down to. Like he's essentially free right now. You can't move him unless there's like a big trade coming about. And it's always difficult with catchers in the middle of the season because then you gotta find a new catcher to back up Torrens, and they gotta learn the pitching staff. It's not easy. And yeah, I agree there that they can't get away with it. They can't. They need major help at the deadline, and internally from the prospects like Mauricio and Gilbert, a new hitting coach would be nice too. Mostly a new hitting coach. But yeah, they gotta bring Mauricio up at the very least. I don't know if Gilbert's really ready to be called up yet, but something's got to change. Something absolutely has to change. Torrens. Yes. People are defending Alvarez just because he was a top prospect, yet they forget Torrens was a pretty high rated prospect. Maybe he's breaking out late. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not defending Alvarez. I know that you're not saying I was here, but I'm just saying, like, I don't want to make it sound like I'm defending the way Alvarez has played. But one, the hitting coach has screwed him over in every single way possible. And number two, again, it's hard to come by catching in this league. I mean, look how many teams are always starving to find a backup catcher. I think you got a luxury right now by having Torrens and Alvarez at the price point that you do, to where sure, Torrens should start right now, but you don't move Alvarez unless there's a trade that you can't say no to it, or a team's like asking for him as like and it's some big trade, then that's a different conversation. Mets are hitting 195 with runners in scoring position. Atrocious and unacceptable. Fire Chavez ASAP 195 in May. Yep. I mean, again, it's round and around we go here talking about it. The lack of production, the lack of plate approach with the runners in scoring position. I've never seen anything like it. I just haven't. And there are times in the past where I'm watching a game and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. You know, they're not going to come through, but then they do every now and then. This year feels like they never come through. That's like maybe like one inning in the game. Yeah, maybe Gem was a stretch. I know. I'll update the title. Maybe Gem was a stretch on that one. I didn't know what else to title it, to be honest with you. Plus, you only get so many characters in these titles. Unfortunately. Fortunately, you only get so many characters in the titles. I guess you could do a solid start. So I could change it to a solid start. I don't know. I mean, either way, that's neither here nor there. I thought it was a good enough start, though. Thought it was a good start for the most part. There you go. Title's updated. Can't disagree though with that. That's probably a stretch. Nice to know our hitting coach gets paid to hang out with the team and has his thumb up his ass. I'll do that shit for free if they need someone in that role too. You and I both. I mean, I could at least show them the iPad and tell them where some flaws are. I wouldn't be perfect at it, but could at least identify a few things. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying on that one. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say Holmes should have done this, Holmes should have done that. I just can't do that. I can't when this offense is what it is. And Holmes has proven he could give you some good starts against solid teams. The offense has not shown anything. But I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live, and I'll see you guys in the next one.